Welcome to Fang's Pizza and Theater, a restaurant that's been thriving and serving families for 14 years, which has fallen on hard times due to a string of missing children cases that occurred last month, with the children's last sightings being the pizzeria. On top of that, the pizzeria's animatronics haven't been acting right ever since. You are Kelly Redfield, Fang's newest night guard, and hopefully this shift is one you'll be able to walk away from. Right as you launch the game for the first time, you see yourself hiding in a vent, though it's not clear who or what we're hiding from. Your first shift is taking place on the 1st of April, 1996, and you're being guided by Colin, who will explain the ins and outs of the establishment and how to deal with any animatronics that might enter your office. First things first, these malfunctioning animatronics are actually newly upgraded and are more capable than ever before. It's a high source of pride for the company given the older model's poor presentation. Those models were sent off to be destroyed, so you won't be seeing them around. Despite the investment into the animatronics, competition has been fierce, leaving Fangs in a precarious situation, so your presence here is greatly appreciated. As for the animatronics, they're designed to walk around at night, and so on occasion they might make their way to your office, which is why you're provided with a flashlight that has a burst function that'll make them glitch out and reset them back to their default positions at their stage. However, this function drains your flashlight greatly, which is why you've been provided with plenty of batteries behind you. On night 1, Faye will be the only one moving and will make their way to the front of your office via the window. Every night, you'll come across an orange floppy disk that you can pick up. These are needed to access the post-shift minigames at home. These post-shift minigames take place during a time when the restaurant was thriving, with the first one having you clean up all the garbage cans around the place. In each of these minigames, however, you'll notice a bit of an error. Something out of place. Interacting with these items brings you to a distorted maze, filled with tentacle-like structures, distorted faces flashing before your eyes, darting figures speeding past you, all while surrounded by the laughter of children. And in a sense, this isn't something that's just unique to the post-shift segments. This sort of happens throughout your night shift, with the rare presence of disembodied spirits just staring at you through cameras until you switch them, along with similar hallucinations regarding animatronics out of place, or staring at the cameras. As you traverse this distorted maze, you come across an even stranger entity, one that's connected to the body of a child. Getting close to this entity brings you back to the restaurant. After completing your first task, you go and talk to your boss, who randomly apologizes before being brought back to the main menu. Before night 2, you see yet another child hiding under the cabinet behind you in the security office, with a figure donning some sort of bunny mask in the doorway looking towards you. On night 2, Colin informs you that the establishment is currently in search of a new owner, since the current owner is no longer interested in the property and is looking to sell it off, though I'm not sure how easy that'd be given the history of the establishment. Even more so, the animatronics have started acting strangely, where sometimes they'll intently stare at you for prolonged periods of time. One such animatronic that's guilty of this is Fang, who will approach your office either through the vents or the doorway on your right. While he makes plenty of noise going through the vents, he's a bit sneakier as he approaches your office doorway, so keeping an eye on him through the cameras will serve you well in case they don't feel like climbing around. Night 2's minigame involves cleaning around the place with a mop, and you learn from one of the children that the establishment used to have their favorite animatronic be a part of the show, before going on a quote-unquote vacation, as their mother called it, and they never performed on stage again. After completing your task, now your boss mysteriously says that she didn't want it to end this way. A third child is seen hiding in the bathroom hallway in the corner, before being found by what is clearly a person wearing a bunny mask. Night 3 introduces 2 more animatronics, Melody the Bat and Nubs the Bear. Melody the Bat is in the habit of breaking various cameras around the establishment, so if the camera system detects an error, it'll be due to Melody's interference. Finding Melody on the cameras and staring at them for a while should make her back off. As for Nubs, they work in a similar way. They'll make their way to your office through a variety of vent openings around the building, and you must make sure to deter him from entering the vents by staring at him for a while as he's attempting to enter said vents. You don't get any sound cues indicating his arrival at the vent openings, so you'll need to be extra vigilant. As for Colin, he oddly starts to realize that he's the only one noticing how odd the animatronics have been acting, just staring at him for no reason. All his coworkers just think that it's part of his phobia acting up. After finishing the task on the third post-shift segment, the owner wishes they could just forget that day, likely referring to the day that the children went missing. The fourth child is seen hiding in a dark corner of a room that's littered with trash, before being spotted once again by the masked individual. While scouring through the cameras, Colin found some footage that showed the previous owner acting erratically throughout the establishment, even crying at some points. We'll have to wait for tomorrow for the rest of the footage to be recovered in secret, since what he's doing is technically not allowed by his company. Now, while most of the older animatronic models were supposed to be retired and destroyed last week, one had to be kept around for spare parts, and that would be Fang Senior. Fang Senior will enter through the doorway in your office. Once you notice him making his way in, you must stay still so that his programming will acknowledge nobody's inside, and he will then move on. In the fourth minigame, the owner's daughter says that her mother forgot her candies today, which worried her mother very much. These candies are supposedly only for adults, and are likely prescription pills that are connected to the strange behavior Collins noticed via the cameras. After completing the task in the fourth minigame, the last thing she says is, "You were always such a wonderful child." We now have the fifth child hiding in what appears to be parts and service, and would inevitably be caught by the masked individual yet again. On night 5, Colin drops a bombshell, confirming that, quote, she murdered the children, and had this look in her eyes. The truth was in the camera feeds all along, but it was covered up since the establishment certainly wouldn't sell well if the news came out that a presumed employee was the one behind the deaths of the 6 missing children. In the midst of the voice message, someone confronts Colin and threatens to fire them for hacking into the camera systems and attempting to, quote, share misinformation using classified records. There was a struggle between them before the message ends. In the fifth minigame, we grab the cake for a 12-year-old's birthday party, slowly walking out to see everyone wearing masks as the happy birthday song slows down, with the boss wearing a bunny mask, resembling the person that's searching for the missing children during what's presumed to be their final moments. Her final piece of dialogue? Thanks. All suggesting that the boss is the one that murdered the 6 children. This is confirmed even further with the 6th child who hides near the entrance, with the masked individual now confirmed to be the boss just staring at her around the corner. This means that she went on to kill her own child along with 5 others after that birthday party, which explains some of the dialogue she's had throughout the minigames. I'm sorry, you were such a wonderful child, and wish that she could forget that day. Returning on Saturday, there's no phone call. In fact, everything seems like a normal night. Until 1 a.m.
That has been disconnected or is no longer in service.
After this, everyone disappears, and a new figure starts to taunt you. Miss Willow, one of the animatronics that were supposed to be retired. She has 2 mechanics, which are dictated by her dialogue. If she says she sees you, you must flash your light using the burst function at her until she leaves the office. After this, she'll retreat to the cameras, telling you to find her. You must constantly watch over her to prevent her from reaching your office as many times as she wants, because eventually you'll run out of batteries if you just let her run amok. Playing the 6th and last minigame has instructions from Miss Willow this time, with the restaurant closely resembling the aesthetic of the distorted maze and all those other minigames. As you walk around the building, you see the bodies of 5 of the 6 dead children scattered around. That's because the last child, who I believe is Addie, the daughter of the murderer, is possessing Miss Willow. As you follow her into the void, you go to speak with her.
You found all of me. That's good. I was waiting. I really thought she wouldn't. But she did. She heard us. she left me. She said I was broken, but I'm not broken anymore. Do you remember the songs, the cake, the party? No one came to help us. No one came for me. It should have been her. She said so. She just watched it happen. She watched me die. She is still out there. You, on the other hand, you set me free. You deserve a gift for that. Look behind you.
After your presumed death, a newspaper article was released announcing the partnership between two rivals, Charlie's Pin Palace and Fang's Pizza and Theater, who would now band together to form a new business consisting of both their animatronic casts. This new brand is dubbed Fang's Bowl and Bites, the same name as the sequel to Pizza and Theater. Finally, another cutscene where we're seen hiding within the vents until Miss Willow appears, right as we wake up from what is actually a nightmare, and then walk up to the computer and look at an image of Fang's Bowl and Bites. And that then concludes Fang's Pizza and Theater. We came, we saw, we presumably died at the hands of Addie, the boss's daughter, possessing Miss Willow. And the restaurant actually goes on to thrive in the form of a new brand. I'm sure in the sequel we'll see some form of Addie/Miss Willow along with her mother after what we saw on Saturday, especially since the new establishment is going to have animatronics from Fang's Pizza and Theater. Based on the phone calls from the game, it's clear now that our boss in those minigames was in fact the previous owner that was planning on selling the business. So somehow they actually managed to get away with all these murders, and they never really even mentioned like what happened to the bodies, right? Because again, they're still presumed missing, even though they have camera footage, which is even more surprising. There's camera footage of the murders. Somehow the police never found them. One hell of a cover-up story for sure. Of course, there's the obvious question as to why she went and did this, and I'm hoping that the sequel kind of delves into that a bit more rather than the possibility that she just went crazy and killed them. We know that according to Addie, her mother said that she was broken, and some of the dialogue in that some of the dialogue between Addie and the player has me a little intrigued, because she says something along the lines of she watched it happen, which is, I mean, it seems like they were kind of like insinuating that she watched her daughter die, right? Which I'm guessing that's how it's supposed to be interpreted, because at first when I read that I was like, wait, did she witness the death at someone else's hands? But I don't think that's the case. That doesn't make sense, especially considering, again, there's camera footage. So it actually makes it seem like Addie might have died a slower death compared to the other children. I mean, at the same time, we don't really know how they died, but it seems like Addie is aware that her own mother saw her slowly die, right? That seems to be the implication of the dialogue. And as a result, Addie has some form of vengeance towards her mother. And we set her free through the little secrets that were left in the floppy disks, right? Those little distorted parts of the minigame were parts of Addie that we were putting together as we went on to collect them. And that's how we would end up freeing her from... I mean, I'm not even really sure what we freed her from exactly. But it's like as if we, by interacting with those floppy disks and those little distorted parts of the games, or the floppy disk rather, we created like a way for her to now be part of the normal realm again, I guess. But despite the fact that there is in fact a sequel happening, that does wrap up this game's story for now, obviously, with some questions that hopefully, as I said, will be mentioned in the sequel. As for Custom Night, I didn't find any videos that suggested there may be additional endings slash new information that would add to the story, especially since I never beat Custom Night max difficulty myself. And as for Golden Days, the additional mode that's in the main game, that's actually a legacy build, or an older build rather, I guess is a better way of putting it, of what would eventually become Fang's Pizza and Theater, right? It was the original game called, I think, Five Nights at Fang's Golden Days, and this isn't really related to the main game story at all. If anything, this is what the original story was before Fang's Pizza and Theater was made, and I guess this was also before the development of the story for what would eventually happen in Fang's Bowl and Bites. Essentially, the continuity in Golden Days is separate from what I understand from the story bits that are not part of the game, and so it's not really relevant to this story breakdown, though I think from what I remember it was kind of interesting seeing the differences, but there's nothing that you really miss story-wise from Golden Days that would apply here, is what I'm saying. With that said though, I am pretty excited for what may unfold in the sequel game, especially now that another company's in the mix, and that revelation of course that not only the murderer, the mother, is still running amok, but now their daughter is now running amok as well in search of vengeance. But of course, with all that said, I hope you did enjoy. If you did, leave a like, comment, let me know what you enjoyed from the video and what you want to see from me. The game will be in the description below as always. Great job to me, Marissa. Here are the credits. Great job to everyone that was part of the game. Curious to see how the sequel is going to go. Excited. And with that said, I'll see you in another video. Take care.